Welcome to the spoiler section. We're talking about Suicide Squad. Okay, so this movie. Okay, let's see.
Can I just start talking about Killer Croc's one-liner?
Let's talk about Killer Croc's
everything.
arc.
Yeah. He didn't have an arc.
He had nothing.
He didn't even have a straight line. He had like a dotted line Morse code. Like he was just gone, and then they're like, "Oh, he's back."
I liked that his backstory was like they treated him like an animal, so he became one.
That's it. That's all they gave.
He likes
Then
to
they brought him.
wear real fly velvet hoodies.
Oh yeah, nice hoodie. Well, and then like when his prison cell has like a tank of water in it, just so he can hang out in there, and then when the guards come in, he can like attack them. Like why would
So
you
that
give
they can
him
be
that?
at a disadvantage
Yeah.
when they try to.
I can't see him. Ah! And then a guard literally dies like that. Oh, that was one really distracting thing. The guard from the beginning. That,
Oh, yeah,
that
what
actor.
was the point of that?
That actor being cast in that. Oh, because the movie wasn't long enough. Yeah. No, it was his character was only set up so that Joker could have an inside man. Which, if you'd have just told me the Joker has an inside man, I would have rolled with it.
Because
instead,
it's the Joker.
Yeah,
Right?
but like he was like comic relief, but also kind of sadistic. And then when Croc
Racist.
pulls that guy in, he's just like, was that a new guy?
Yeah. Okay. So we got
Oh.
Killer Croc. His first one-liner, I believe, is it's nah, bruh. I live in the sewer. You're just a tourist.
Yeah.
And then he does this weird like scamper into the subway station that's filled with water. It's a flooded subway station. He like bursts them out of the way, and then it's like some Chinese action flick. You know how they're like flying through the air with wires?
Mhm.
It's like that in his crawling motion on the ground. He's like,
It's so
ridiculous.
goofy.
It was so bad. And then his next one-liner was, they were talking about how he's ugly on the outside and ugly on the inside, and he's like, he looks at Harley Quinn and he's like, nah, shorty, I'm beautiful.
It's like, no! Oh.
Painful.
Like, and I get that he was supposed to be comic relief a bit,
Didn't
but
work.
like they didn't set it up enough and they didn't like play with it enough.
Oh, and what was the thing in the end of the movie? His request?
His request. Oh, that was one of the worst because I was like,
EET.
is that racist?
It is
You can have
racist.
anything you want, anything to make your prison life better. And he goes, on BT in my room. You're like, what? I mean, Will Smith is like, I want to spend time with my daughter, and Boomerang just screws it up. I guess.
He forgets to ask
He
for
forgets
something.
to ask for something.
I guess.
He's too busy being John
He doesn't
Courtney.
want anything. Yeah. And they have that scene where they show him what they, or she, Enchantress shows him what they want the most.
Mm.
He has nothing apparently.
They didn't even show his, I don't think.
Yeah, they
No,
didn't.
that's what I mean. Like they didn't show, and
He didn't want you to
well,
do it.
and like when they did the character introductions, like those were fun, but then they didn't do them for the guy
Slipknot.
Yeah, okay.
Oh,
that
the
guy.
climber guy?
Yeah, the
He
guy that
just
repelled
gets his
him.
head blown up
And
in the beginning
That was
of the
so
movie.
obnoxious because as soon as
Yeah.
Boomerang was talking to him and he's like, "Oh, maybe these don't actually do that," I was like, "Oh, he's fucking dead. He's
Yeah.
fudging dead now."
Dead.
Oh, yeah. No, and like, don't get me wrong. Like,
And I wanted him to have a backstory because that would have been way funnier.
well,
Like,
and I'm super down with like killing one of the team to bring up the tension so that we know that like this is for real. But you can't just be like, really good backstories. And Fred, how's it going,
this
Fred?
guy that
And
just
Fred's
showed
dead.
up out of nowhere.
Fred's like-
Oh, will he make it?
Yeah. Hey, what are you doing here? I'm not really sure. I think I'm gonna run that way. Don't do that. Don't. Oh.
Oh, I'm.
Also, the worst shot in the movie. One of the worst shots in the movie is his first hook shot, and then he goes at that like he goes at an angle that is unrealistic, and then
Yeah.
it's really slow too, so it's just like. It just doesn't
No real
work.
urgency.
It's like Peter Pan. Like,
Boomerang's just like, I wonder what's gonna happen. Pow!
he's dead.
Oh, what a shame.
But yeah, that was like their motivation for like keeping them on task was they implanted little bombs inside their necks.
Yeah.
And if they broke away or tried to be villainous, they would just kill them.
Yeah. Which, and then I think,
The handy app on their phone.
Right, the handy app on their Galaxy S5.
I mean, they even make the
Yes.
joke. Oh my god.
Samsung.
Brought to you by Samsung.
Brought to
the
you
whole
by
movie.
Samsung. Oh
The-
my
the number
God.
of phones where they're like, this phone. I mean,
Get a close up. Make sure Samsung.
Waller keeps holding up the phone with their faces like, poke your face and you're dead. I'll do it. I'll do it. And then Boomerang throws his boomerang and he's like, let me look at my Galaxy Note to make sure that as soon as his boomerang gets killed too, he's like, oh, and he just throws his phone away. Like that was the only thing he used it for.
Like one moment.
I mean,
Also, the villain. Let's talk about the villain.
oh yeah, let's talk about the villain. The
Enchantress.
worst actress in the movie.
Yes.
By far.
Oh, her little, like, Enchantress
Yes.
Macarena. You don't got the balls.
It's just.
What am I watching? She's all like, I'm Enchantress.
Ending the world with my tiki dance.
Yeah, like, what the hell?
Can you imagine being on the soundstage and being her and be like, you want me to... And there's going to be a big... It's going to be cool though, right?
Yeah, like I'm wiggling like this for a reason.
They're
yeah?
like, it's going to be super cool. Tim Mayer's just like, I don't know, you guys.
Yeah.
I think there's going to be a lot of talk about how this movie is like problematic.
Yeah.
because I mean, very very generic, very stereotypical characters in this. Like I liked Diablo. I
true.
thought his backstory was the most interesting, and then like his payoff was actually kind of satisfying before he turned into the
His
giant
payoff is-
skeletal tiki man.
His payoff was the most satisfying.
Yeah.
That was fun, even though it was just like
Oh,
out of nowhere.
I thought his payoff
No,
was
but
the
his
scene before
backstory
that.
was just like,
It was generic.
oh,
but
he's such a good guy, though. Really, like.
Even though he killed his entire family.
and he's been like he's a
he
lifelong
just got
gangster.
a little mad. It's okay.
Yeah, but he has this nice
Yeah.
house, like in the
Sounds like,
suburbs.
it
and
sounds
Yeah.
like every
Just-
abuser's excuse ever. I just got a little mad.
Yeah.
But I
And
like
incinerated my entire family.
I just liked when they show their illusions of like what they really want, and then he just is like, no, I did it, and I have to live with that. And I was like, that's
Like,
decent,
alright,
alright. That's
dude.
okay. That's pretty good. I like
Turn
that.
into a giant tiki flame
Well,
monster
they-
and
they
punch
s-
out the bad guy.
They set it up. They
Not a
paid it
tiki
off.
monster.
Okay, he looked
He's
like
like a
one.
giant Aztec skeleton
Yeah, it was
thing.
like
He's got like a big
something with
feathery skeleton.
Aztec.
I love the way his goofy animation was set up with the skeleton. He's like, yeah.
Yeah, no, okay, he can control any amount of fire,
Any
right?
amount.
Any amount of heat or anything like
He's
that.
just like, oh,
but he decides
oh.
to start hitting him in the face.
with his skeleton hands,
I
which
assume
apparently hurt.
He had to use all the firepower to make himself that shape.
Oh,
like,
maybe that's it.
I'll
Okay.
He was
lose
that-
form if I.
I mean, he clearly works on a mana system because he ran out of mana right at the
Oh,
end. And
I
then he's
see.
like,
Yeah,
blow it
yeah.
up, I'm out of mana.
Yeah. But then, okay, but it's like,
Ocean
so
Bro.
he wails on the Enchantress's brother, who's
Mhm.
one of the other bad guys, her like main giant wizard henchman dude.
I thought he looked cool.
Yeah, he looked cool. The CGI was good because of just the budget. But they're just, he's wailing on him. It doesn't do anything. And then Clint Eastwood's son is like in the sewer under them with a little landmine, and he like sacrifices himself.
The funniest,
Just beep, boom.
funniest
Kills
thing
him.
about
one
that,
Little, one little landmine.
the landmine killed me. Everything about the landmine was dumb.
It was
Because
the
he's like,
stupidest thing.
because all right, so Enchantress can teleport, right?
Yeah.
So he's like, I'm gonna set this landmine to 2 seconds, and then you teleport it over. And he hits the button and hands it to her. He hands her it, and then she hits the button, hands it to him, and teleports away to like God knows where. And somehow he disarms it in time. And then that way at the end they had to explode, right?
Yeah.
Why not just reset the timer? You're telling me the timer can't be reset? I was thinking Clint Eastwood like, it's set for a minute, I'm running away, and then he runs away, and they're like, we gotta hold him here. Then like Diablo wouldn't have to, like he would be like holding him or something. There's 1,000 ways to
Just-
do this. They
yeah.
just chose like the dumbest way because they're like Diablo has to die because the movie has stakes, probably.
Diablo didn't die though, did he?
Yeah, he did.
What? I thought he survived.
No,
Oh, he gets killed.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
yeah.
No, he's super duper dead.
he's super
That goes
dumb.
to show how fucking terrible. No, I'm doing it. No, I'm doing it. It goes to show how terrible the payoff for anything in that movie is.
Mm.
One of the leads dies. Nobody cares.
Nobody noticed. Like you
Nobody
didn't
even
know.
noticed. I didn't even notice. I was
Nobody
watching
cared.
the movie.
I cared, but like that last scene is shot in such a confusing way that I
Yeah.
could totally see how you could just be like, all right, he's fine.
All right, and then Will Smith's.
Oh yeah.
When he's like about to shoot the bomb that they throw into
Then his
the
That-
daughter
thing.
stands in front of him. I
But
was
like just below where he's shooting, so he
but
doesn't
he's
have to.
literally not. He's actually helping when he shoots this time.
Yeah. Well, it's because
It
the
wa-
daughter is the illusion created by Enchantress, who
That's
doesn't
what
want
I
him to
thought.
shoot it.
That's how I read it.
Yeah.
No.
That was why she was there. Which is like,
I
why
still
not put?
feel like he should have registered that on some level.
Oh, he did. That's why he shot.
I know.
But he
well,
like he
so
overcame
we had to go
it
through
and
the
shot
whole.
it anyway.
But like, why not put her directly in the path of the bullet, right? Instead, she's like a foot underneath where he's shooting.
Yeah, right?
Like, if
Way
you had
to
to-
not be very effective.
If he had to shoot through her, you could understand like being torn about it. But like, when he's just like, "Don't shoot over my head at this thing, clearly an illusion." It's like, Why would that be difficult at all? Be like, no, I'm gonna do this. Especially for a character like Deadshot, which they've set up to be pretty much like remorseless and not emotionless, but like very down to business. He seems like the kind of guy who would just be like, I don't care, Pap.
So I think one scene in the movie I did really enjoy was when he's like previewing his shooting skills. And he gets those perfect headshots with every single gun, and they're just molten holes, like bullet hole sized holes. That was cool. I was like, this is a cool scene. It's like well done. And then as soon as he gets the loaded gun, he just points it in his guard's face.
That was great.
Also, yeah.
He's like, he must be full of planks or whatever. And he's like, yeah, I'm pretty sure that is. And then he shoots it in the air, and he's like, you guys are crazy.
Yeah. And then he starts like shooting the targets and gets the perfect shot every time. Because like that was cool the way they cross cut with like the bullet hole getting slightly a tiny bit bigger, so it's like he's shooting the same exact spot each time.
And that I think Ayer's really good at gunplay.
Yeah.
A lot of the gunplay in the movie was kind of satisfying, and every time Deadshot got into like murder mode and it's just like bah, 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 it was like satisfying and really cool to watch.
Yeah.
But then every time there was like a fist fight or something, or like a giant goofy skeleton slapping around a CG guy, it's not even, those moments aren't even they're not as well shot as those gunfights moments. And I think that's why there's a lot of like just shooting, and we don't know what to do with boomerangs, so he's like punching people with the boomerangs, and he's the Hawkeye of this team for sure.
He was the
and
Hawkeye.
Like when you have a Hawkeye, or Justice League does it best, right? Because Justice League's Hawkeye is Batman, right?
Really?
Yeah, because he has no powers. He's just got a bunch of stuff that he can do. But like he's intelligent, and he puts out the plans, and he uses all of his gadgets to like very effectively. Hawkeye does that, just not as well, and he's not as well as established or respected, so people like to dump on him. Boomerang's like the example of how not to do this, how to make your character feel like useless, because he doesn't contribute anything to the plans. He doesn't use his boomerangs in interesting ways that could help out. I mean, Batman uses batarangs more interestingly than Captain Boomerang uses boomerangs, and it's not even his main gimmick. It's like,
what is that hero's name or villain's name?
Captain Boomerang.
Serious.
His name is his name is Captain Boomerang.
Captain Boomerang, ladies and gentlemen, aka Australian Boomerang guy.
Australian Jai Courtney.
Jesus.
They had this weird joke with him and that unicorn, that stuffed unicorn. It was like stolen out of Deadpool.
Completely stolen out of
and
Deadpool.
With no setup or payoff, just, look, it's a unicorn. That's funny, right? You get it?
Yeah, literally.
Get it? It's a unicorn.
And then when it flew out of his jacket, I was just like, if you're worried about people seeing it, can't you like have a pocket? Can't you have a pocket to put it in? Like, and especially if you're all embarrassed about it or whatever.
Oh yeah.
And he's just like, no, I just shove it into my armpit, and then I run around like this, and I hope that it doesn't fall out.
Yeah.
Well, and they never, if they'd had a scene, if even at the end it had gotten pulled into the vortex and burned up, and he's like, no.
Yeah, something like that.
Just
some sort of like
anything.
end to that.
Yeah.
There were so many little like mini subplots that they set up with absolutely no payoff. One of them being, you know how like the weird eyeball pimple monsters they kept kidnapping Flag.
Yeah.
They kept trying to kidnap him because apparently the Enchantress was like scared of him or something. And then as soon as the final fight comes around, no reference to that whatsoever.
No, she's even less intimidated by Flag than everyone else.
Yeah, she even says, "You don't have the balls."
Yeah.
What sort of 7,000-year-old interdimensional super being says, "You don't have the balls"?
One in the Suicide Squad
Oh,
movie.
okay, yeah.
And again, we found another moment that sums up the movie perfectly.
Yeah.
7,000-year-old interdimensional god saying, "You don't have the balls."
You don't have the balls.
If that at all sounds appealing.
6,370.
It was like 6,790 something though.
370.
It was 300. Okay.
I will bet you money.
Okay, damn.
Ooh,
This is
man.
getting.
Oh, we're gonna have to Google up in here.
Because this is a very important point to the movie.
Yeah,
You know,
it's
this
exactly the
one
truth.
Yeah,
little
if you
fact.
don't understand how old she is, everything is just confusing.
How will the rest of it make sense? That's the linchpin.
That's why I was confused. I didn't read out what she was. I misread the 3 for a 7. That's just it's just so
man.
silly and stupid. Everything about it was just.
Can we talk about the Joker a little bit?
Okay, yeah, the Joker. No point for him to even be in the movie at all, really.
Yeah.
Pretty much none.
I mean, what did you think of Jared Leto's portrayal of the Joker? Molly?
Yeah, I'm thinking.
Oh, okay.
About it.
Okay, so
I
it's
just-
for
You didn't make eye contact. I wasn't
It's
sure
like,
if you heard
it's
me.
like he was trying to do a cheap ripoff of the crazy parts of Heath Ledger's Joker, and that's it. He was just like, I'm not crazy. I'm gonna be in a nightclub and I got grills now, son. And you're like, come on, Jared Leto, just calm down, please. It was just bad.
I like his wardrobe.
I think the only was he fly? He had a
He
fly.
was mad
rocking
fly.
some fly
He,
fits.
he rocked some nice threads,
Most
yo.
fashionable
Nice
Joker.
dates. Yeah.
But so it's like I feel like the reason they put Joker in there in the end was you can't have Harlequin without the Joker, apparently.
Right.
But I feel like you should be able to in a movie like this. You should be able to maybe reference the Joker, or make him like a key character that's important. And instead he kind of fell into this like weird middle ground of the only reason the Joker is here is to motivate Harley Quinn against the Suicide Squad to betray them, right? Because it's a team of villains. They are supposed to betray each other. But she doesn't really betray them. She jumps on the helicopter. It gets blown up. Oh, and that Joker's one-liner, "This bird is baked."
I know. Every single exchange, their dialogue was the worst dialogue of the movie.
God, it was so bad. And then she just rejoins with them, like it wasn't ever a betrayal at all.
Well, I mean, like where she is in the city, and I think that they were trying to get this. I don't think they quite got it, but I think they were going for like she's very opportunistic, right? And she's survivalist, and if she's in the middle of this city full of monsters and stuff, her safest place to be is probably with the Suicide Squad if the Joker has crashed his plane. You know, so I think that's more why she gets back with them than anything. But then there's all that weird family dialogue at the end that doesn't make any
how they're
sense.
like best friends at the end. And then when she's on the rope attached to the helicopter with the Joker, and then the like leader of the Suicide Squad, what's that character's name? Waller. She's like, shoot her, you'll get your kid back. And then Will Smith's like, oh, she did.
Yeah.
And gets his gun, and then misses on purpose and is like, I missed. And you're like, come on.
It didn't make any
sense.
sense.
Why would Deadshot care at all about Harley Quinn at this point? There's no motivation for it.
Yeah, it's a moment you could earn. It's a moment you could build to.
But they didn't.
Not at all.
No build up. It just happened. And I'm sitting there like, just frustrated.
Yeah, I mean, the whole third act of the movie is a bunch of moments like that, where some character says something that hasn't been set up at all and doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, like when they're in the bar, right? They're all in the bar and they're all upset.
Before we move, I just wanted to say a quick thing about Joker before we move on. I thought that Jared Leto's Joker, I didn't like his energy as much, because usually the Joker has this maniacal or manic sort of energy that's very focused and very direct. And I think Jared Leto was going for something where he's so crazy he's sort of phasing in and out of reality a little bit. And it took away from that energy and that focus that the Joker has that sort of makes him intimidating. Like, he seems capable of doing all this stuff. This guy seemed like he was really, really high a lot of the time.
Yeah, and they made him seem like he was obsessed with, like, material things. Like, he had grills and was hanging out at nightclubs. Yeah. He just seemed like an insane thug with green hair.
Yeah.
That's it. He just seemed like a crazy gangster with green hair. That's it. He didn't even really feel like a Joker to me.
I heard they based his portrayal off of, like, a Mexican drug cartel lord. Like
that doesn't really fit with the Joker, does it?
Well, it's in direct opposition to Dark Knight Joker.
Yeah, okay. There we go.
The Joker's one of those characters that's so malleable that you can have him do anything. And I think they were just trying to really, I mean, you don't want to be compared to Heath Ledger's Joker.
Yeah. No.
You're gonna be. But,
the best Joker of all time.
Oh yeah, it's not even close. I will say I'm not against this Joker yet. I'm not sold on it though. I'm still.
Oh, he was barely in the movie. It was hard to even like, break down how good the character was when he's only in like 4 or 5 scenes with dialogue.
Bad dialogue.
I agree that he should have just not been in it.
Yeah.
Because I just wanted, like, when I thought he was dead, for 5 seconds or whatever.
Yeah, seriously.
Like, I wanted him to stay that way because I thought she would be more interesting or fun that way. Just kind of cut loose instead of worrying about getting back to her pudding.
Oh, God.
Every one of their exchanges is so cringy. It's like written directly by Hot Topic. They're like, put that on a shirt. I want to make a shirt that says puddin', so make her say puddin' a lot. Yeah. Oh man.
Probably gonna sell that collar as like a belt or as a collar.
A belt buckle that says puddin'.
Putin. I thought it was a belt at first, and then she put it in her neck, and I was like, oh.
For a second, I thought it said Putin. Because it was spelled with a U. And like, Putin.
Putin. Oh man. Let's see what. Oh, that bar scene, right? They try to set
Okay, yeah,
up
the bar scene.
all of the payoff at the end with that bar with one scene.
Yeah, so
They
it's
bicker, they fight, they bicker, and then they get to one scene where they all go, "We don't care anymore. We're gonna go get drunk."
Yep. So there was one big thing that really upset me about that bar scene is Flag walks in and he just slaps all these letters from, Deadshot's daughter on the table. They've been in the middle of this massive fight. It's like you were just holding these letters in your front pocket just so you could whip them out and be like, Deadshot. Like, it made no sense. It
We're
made
friends
absolutely
now.
no sense.
Yeah, well, nothing about Rick Flags, anything made any sense. Like, he could have been, like, a guy who could have really brought this team together to make a lot of sense and, like, motivate them and bring them together as a team. Instead, he doesn't tell them what's going on. He antagonizes them
No reason.
every minute. Yeah, and
He's just an ass.
I like it. They're flying in, and somebody, I forget who it is. I think it's Harley Quinn. Points out the window. She says, "Is that a big bolt of lightning? Are we gonna go fight the guys?" And it's like he's like, "No, it's terrorists."
Seriously.
So on top of lying to them, he's really bad at lying to them.
I thought when they introduced him with all of his credentials that he was going to be very like robotic, like the epitome of like
He
a
was
modern
just a
military
little
soldier, and
Right.
and then like you would see the cracks later maybe because
Yeah.
he cares for Enchantress, but it's just like an emotional prick right from
He
the
was a
beginning.
whiny child.
Yeah.
Fun fact: originally Tom Hardy was gonna play Flag, but had to back out due to conflicts with Revenant. That would have been incredible to see.
That would have maybe brought the movie together
No,
a little bit.
absolutely not. The writing is too bad. Like it's
Maybe
too
it's like
goofy
Tom
and on
Hardy
the nose.
just remakes the movie.
I would love to see Tom Hardy in that though. Like
That would've been
him
funny.
bringing his weird energy to this mess of just
Mess of a
overly
character.
overly charismatic actors doing way more with nothing than they should.
Yeah, that's true.
I would have. Yeah, Flag was by far one of the weakest parts of the whole movie.
Absolutely.
And Waller was surprisingly weak as well. I thought the actress did a
Yeah.
really good job with what she was given, but a lot of her motivation is left kind of unclear. And then a lot of the things she does, you're like, oh, okay, but why did you do that?
Yeah, when she like kills her whole team.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, she's like she's pent up in this like room in the middle of all the chaos, and it's secretly, like you were saying earlier, a damsel in distress rescue mission that they didn't tell the Suicide Squad about, the Suicide Squad about, and then they show up, save her, and then she's with this team of like IT people, IT FBI
Picking up
people.
computers.
Yeah, and she's like, all right, erase everything and do all this stuff for me. They finish, and they're like, we're done, and then she's like, good. Boom, 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 and just kills them all.
Yeah, and then she has a
Innocent people.
She throws away has a throwaway line. Like, none of them were cleared for any of this, and you're like, so?
Yeah,
Just
like
wanted us
like,
to show how determined she was.
well, they wanted to portray her as like a bad guy because they tried to portray all of them as bad guys. But that was the most evil thing anybody did in the entire movie.
By far.
Almost more than the Enchantress.
They didn't want us to know why she was evil, just that like how determined
Yeah,
she was,
just she
or like
sucks.
why she did anything that she did.
And it just doesn't make any sense. It's like you can't just kill everyone in an office, even if you work for the government, and it's totally fine. It just
yeah, you
didn't.
can't do that.
Yeah. And again, we've summed up this whole movie with another scene. She had to do it, right? So that we knew the real bad guy
Yeah.
was supposedly
Yeah.
the good guy. Do you get it? You get it? And it's so dumb that it's like, oh, puppy dog, no, bad rug. Get off the rug.
Yeah, seriously. Oh, did you guys stay after the credits, or like for that one little
Yeah.
I forget what
post-credit
what
sequence?
Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
where
it's
Affleck
Waller
shows
with,
up.
Yeah, it's Waller with Affleck's Batman.
Mm. And he's just like, we'll take care of it. Also, did you murder a room full of people?
Well, Batman murders this. So does Superman murders their fair share of people by
that's
accident
true.
in
Yeah.
the movie. In the
Batman
vs
Batman v
right?
Superman. Batman did a lot of like dead, run over with my car. That guy's dead. Superman's killing people goes more like, oh, sorry, you're dead. Oh my gosh, you're dead. Like, except if he didn't apologize or care that it happened
And
at
just
all.
kept going.
Can you imagine if they added bodies to that Man of Steel scene?
Oh
and
my
like
God.
they're just like covered in blood.
That'd be so insane.
I bet you Zack Snyder lobbied for it, and they were like, no.
Yeah, DC's dead.
Also,
The
this is
DCCU
a small
is
thing,
over.
but like, why were the numbers on the helicopter in tape? That was fudging
Oh,
tape.
yeah.
And I was like, why does it look like tape? Why? Why? And then the secret room where they got her out, there was a piece of white paper with black crayon or Sharpie, and it said like Tac 1, Tac 2, Ops 1 to 6 or something. And I was like, why is there a piece of paper with crayon on the door as the sign? I don't understand what's happening.
It had to fit the
It
whole
was such
aesthetic
a
of the Suicide Squad.
That's what, yeah, and the binder.
The binder's
The
my
binder.
favorite.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, and it looked like she printed that top secret with red at home, and I was like, oh yeah, thank God we don't have like any convenient little devices that we can hook up to the computers that we carry with us every day to transport
And
highly sensitive information.
does Deadshot have like a photographic memory? Because he read that binder. Oh,
Tell them what's going on.
yeah, seriously.
No, it was a picture book, see, because the
okay.
pages fell out.
Oh yeah. When you flip it, it makes it's like an animation.
Yeah, it tells the story of how they're getting screwed
Oh
over.
man.
And the pages, there were page protectors on them.
Oh, yeah.
That killed me too.
I thought
I
thought
was like, why?
I thought the binder was gonna be like, oh, you plan on keeping us forever as this strike force because Deadshot seems to think that it's gonna be over, and then it turns out the binder is just you're going to fight a big ancient witch.
And we haven't
Entire-
picked that up by
that
fighting
was-
weird interdimensional monsters the entire
When
time.
they-
It's not like we haven't figured that out already.
I know.
When
It's
they
like,
started,
what?
It's like, why is he so upset? He knows.
Yeah, he's been fighting weird.
Tell everyone else what's going on. We're fighting an interdimensional being. Yeah, we know.
Yeah, we've been fighting weird.
I've been
monsters
here the whole
this
time.
Painful.
All right. Any parting blows before we go? We got last things you want to talk
I don't
about.
know. I was gonna say regarding
yeah.
that, it seemed like they built the team at first to have them do long-term stuff, but then it was like, no, but it's just this mission, and we're gonna let you think it's just this mission, even though it clearly started out as long-term, and then you're gonna be surprised that it was supposed to be a long-term at the end. I feel like they forgot what they were trying to
Like
do
draft
while
one.
they were filming the movie. Yeah.
Draft one, they got to
like
the
yeah,
end
they're
and-
like, we'll one of these things will work, and then they're like, we'll leave it all in. So no one's really sure.
I guess my parting note is like, how can a studio with the budget and the resources and the reputation that they have release a cut of a movie that had potential as bad as it was? How can they get away with that, especially after releasing Batman vs Superman and then giving Zack Snyder like power over this movie? Not as a director, but he was one of the head executive producers of it.
Yeah.
It's like, how DC? How can you get away with this?
There's gonna be a lot of that going on. Because I think no matter what camp you land in after you see this movie, you're not gonna be like, this was a quality film.
Never.
You're not gonna be like, this is something I'm gonna show my kids. You're gonna be like, you're either gonna be in Tark's camp where you're like, it's so bad, it's so frustrating, it's so bad, or you'll be more in the camp that me and Molly have landed in where it's like, it's so bad, it's hilarious, it's
Yeah.
so bad.
And the funny thing is, like, usually I'm not a fan of the comics. Usually it's the comic book fans that are mad about it, and it's the people who aren't the comic book fans who are like, oh, it was just funny bad. But it's like the opposite, which is strange.
I don't know anything about the Suicide Squad.
Oh, okay. I see.
So yeah, that's part of what. That's
Yeah, so,
Yeah.
I hated the Wolverine movie, and I have not read the comics.
Well, the Wolverine, it's better than the Wolverine movie. We can say that
Yeah.
much.
Yeah.
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 It's better than
Yeah.
Wolverine Origins.
Yeah, I left that movie
That
very
was-
angry. So angry.
And to me, it's still better than Batman v Superman.
Yeah, I haven't honestly
It's a-
seen it yet.
Oh, okay.
I haven't
It's-
even
it's-
seen it. I've just heard it.
It's
about
a
it and seen clips.
step
Well,
forward. Sorry.
Yeah, no. I saw like an article headline that was like, Suicide Squad is worse than Batman v Superman. So that was my expectation going in, and it was not worse. So if you think that it's going to be worse, you'll have fun.
This honestly has me excited for DC movies headed by someone other than Zack Snyder. Like, I'm
Oh,
honestly
please.
excited for Wonder Woman now.
Anyone else?
Like,
Who's making Wonder Woman?
I forget who's making Wonder Woman. The trailer's out. The trailer looks great. And then
Yeah,
seeing that,
I
like,
tried the trailer.
Zack Snyder's executive producer couldn't make Suicide Squad a Zack Snyder movie. It's bad for different reasons than a Zack Snyder
Yeah,
movie.
true. Very true.
So I'm excited for Wonder Woman. I'm excited to see more in the DCU. I think I'm most excited for Ben Affleck's solo Batman movie. Because in this, like, him selling, even though Batman's around the edges of this, he sells it so well that he's just fallen right into the role. And I'm
Was he a
excited
good
for his-
Batman?
He was. I thought he was a good Batman.
Okay, yeah.
His Batman is one of the better things in Batman v Superman, as long as he's not murdering people. Yeah. So it's a step in the right direction. It's
Yeah.
just, it's a clumsy, drunken step.
Yeah.
Uh,
God.
Yeah.
Should we do another set of recommends? Would
Yeah,
not
yeah.
recommends?
We'll do recommends, won't recommends. One more time, just in case you only watched the spoiler video for some reason.
Yeah, because you didn't care.
Tark, you want to leave us off?
Yeah, so definitely, you've probably gathered this by now. Would not recommend. I'm not even a fan of the comics. I left the theater frustrated. The pacing was off. The only good part about the movie was Will Smith's Deadshot. And yeah, no, Will Smith's Deadshot. That was the only part that I really thought was like.
You'd have rather just had a Deadshot movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I actually would have.
Yeah, I could totally see it.
Running away from the bat, that would have been cool. And like his relationship with Batman. Oh, also
Cool.
forgot to mention one thing that I thought was kind of cool is how they just kind of stuck the Flash in there for a little bit.
Oh yeah, he just shows up. He's like, "Hey, you're Boomerang." Just they don't even show how he beats him. It's just like so obvious that he's gonna beat him.
Yeah, because he's the Flash.
Well, and
that was kind of cool.
And
I was
Captain
like, okay.
Boomerang is never sold as anything resembling serious, and it starts with that scene where he's like, "Hey, what's going on?" He's like, "Huh, I'm gonna beat you up."
Yeah. So yeah, would not recommend. Definitely not.
Molly.
I would recommend it because it's hilariously bad.
There you go.
All right.
The end.
The end.
Yep.
Hilarious.
I would add Margot Robbie to the whatever. I'll objectify her. I don't fucking care.
Yeah,
I don't
no.
fucking care. Like
all the butt shots were like
She-
honestly like kind of cool.
yeah, and like I don't know how I feel about the accent entirely, but like
She sold it.
yeah, it worked
Yeah.
well enough that like I
Isn't she
enjoyed.
from Brooklyn though? That's what I thought.
I don't know. She's just doing. To me, it just sounded like
honestly
she was
have no
doing the
idea.
character's voice.
Okay. Because, I mean, I know that when she was in Wolf of Wall Street, she sold that
Mhm.
accent really well.
Well,
I
and
thought it
this
was,
one,
like, her actual accent.
she's actually doing the cartoon character's voice.
Okay, I see.
So like,
Yeah.
it's definitely nowhere close to her actual voice
Yeah.
or accent. So.
Definitely
not.
not.
Oh man, can you just imagine?
If she
in
sounded
interviews.
like that.
So I was with Leo, and
Oh, God.
yeah. The movie is so crushingly unself-aware that it's hilarious.
Yeah.
Like it's almost like reading something you wrote when you were 13 and laughing so hard at how much like you thought you were awesome or you knew how to. It's that level of just cringy but like funny. So yeah, wait till it comes out on DVD. Get some friends so that you can talk the whole time and not feel bad about it. You're gonna laugh a lot, or you're just gonna get real mad.
Yeah.
But overall, it's one of those you just gotta see it. That's part of the reason that I land on recommend is that like you're gonna want to see it if for no other reason. So when somebody asks, "Have you seen Suicide Squad?" you can have a hilarious 10-minute conversation
Yeah.
about Suicide Squad.
Nah, shorty.
No.
I'm beautiful.
All right, so that's all for this week. I'm TJ Hunt.
I'm Tarquin Boyat.
I'm Molly Hunt.
See you later.